day 2, session 2 of our AWS series, alternative work schedules. And today we will be discussing the gliding schedule, which is my favorite. And you will learn why as soon as I turn it over. But I am Lakeisha Murphy. I am the Chief Steward and Executive Vice President for Chapter 26. And our presenter today is our newest full-time steward, Ms. B. Sharp, also known as Shalinda McIvory. And I just want to say thank you in advance, because this is a topic that has come up quite a bit here lately. Employees wanting to know their best option for the lives that they lead. And I had been funneling all of the requests to our subject matter expert and quickly realized, to save her some time, it would probably be best if we just roll it out as a workshop. So here we are. Thank you for joining again, and I will let Ms. B. Sharp have the floor.
Okay, can everybody see the screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Great, great. So as Keisha said, today we will be talking about gliding. So gliding, as Keisha said, is her favorite. I personally think it's the second best schedule of the 6 that are offered here at the IRS. So you know how you get up in the morning sometimes or you wake up and you just going, oh, good grief, I can't go to work, I don't know. And you hear that sound. That's that, and then you hit this button and say, oh, you know what, that's that snooze button. Let me snooze. I can't do this morning. It's too early. I don't feel like coming to work at 6 o'clock this morning. I'm tired. Let me just get 15 more minutes, 30 more minutes, another hour. I'm going. I don't even know if I want to call in or not. I don't know. I just don't know today. You need to be gliding. That way you can just slide on into work a little bit later than you might normally have come in, okay? So when you glide, you can basically come to work anytime within the flexible time bands. The first flexible time band, that is. So from 6 a.m. to 9:30, you can just come to work. You don't have to really tell your manager until you get to work. There's a couple ways you can do that. But the beauty of gliding is that you can come to work at any time in that first flexible time band from 6 to 9:30 in the morning. And you can get off anytime between 2:30 and 8:30 p.m. So with gliding, you can get credit hours. That's another good thing about it. You are in a schedule that allows you to accrue credit hours. You can get a maximum of 3 credit hours on your regular workday and 10 credit hours on your non-work days. Okay. You can't use credit hours on the same day that you earn them, but you can still earn them. You do have to work 8 hours in a day, 40 hours in a week, 80 hours in a pay period. Okay. Between 6 a.m. and 8:30 p.m., as we said. Now, we all know, but just as a reminder, the core hours are 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Those are hours that you have to be at work every day. So in this schedule, you don't get an off day, a full off day, like some of the other schedules, say 410, something like that, or Maxi Flex. You can't have a whole off day because you have to be at work 8 hours a day, every day. Okay, so the flexibility in your start and stop times is the thing that's most beautiful, right? Sometimes, you know how you get up in the morning, as I described, and you're saying, okay, since I can't get there at 6, maybe I'll make it at 7. And you make it at 7, and you do that 2 or 3 days. Okay, then on the 3rd work day or 4th work day, you're going, I need to come at 8. You can do that with gliding. You have to let your manager know within 15 minutes of the time that you start working that you have come to work. So say it's 9:15. And you say, okay, you know what? I just got here let me let my manager know. So by 9:30, within 15 minutes of your start time, you need to let your manager know that you've started working. Okay, or if you know in advance that you're going to come at 9 o'clock or whatever time you've chosen to come before 9:30, which is the latest time that you can arrive at work on a gliding schedule, then you can let them know in advance. But I would suspect that if you're just choosing when you want to come that morning based on how you feel or for whatever the reason, then you are letting your manager know within 15 minutes of that start time. In order to effect this schedule change to gliding, or to get off gliding, or change to another one, or whatever you want to do, you do need to complete Form 10911, and that is required for all of the types of flexible and compressed schedules offered here. And you can make changes to that schedule once every other pay period, or essentially once per month. And that change becomes effective at the beginning of the next pay period. Also with the schedule, because you're working 8 hours a day, every day, you get 8 hours of pay, on holidays. Okay, so I've included a sample schedule here on gliding. It's an easy sample schedule because there's not really a schedule, because essentially you don't have a schedule. You make it up as you go, as long as you're meeting that 8, 40, 80 requirement. So if you see here on the screen, I have your start time at any time between 6 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. and your stop time anytime before 8:30 p.m. Get 8 hours of work in, however you can get them in, as long as you're at work in that 5-hour core time band from 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m.
I have a question. Within that, the 8 hour has to be continuous. You can't stop for a couple of hours, and you can't do that, right?
Well, if you do that, that's really a flexi tour. But with flexi tour, you can start and stop.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that it's possible in gliding.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be you could do it. You could do it. You could.
Mm-hmm. You can't do it. Oh, okay.
You could, because remember, you're gonna need to capture those 5 hours, that 5-hour window, 9:30 to 2:30.
Mm-hmm.
So say if you come to work at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 30. So that's 8.5 hours right there. Well, you already have the whole workday done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But say if you decide you're going to come at 9 o'clock, let's count this. If you're going to come at 9 o'clock, and you have to be there at 2:30. Okay. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 30, that's 5.5 hours. But you need to leave. Because you got to go pick up the children, whatever it is, whatever it is your life, is presenting you with. You need to leave, say 2 hours. So you left at 2:30, right? So you come back at 4:30. You had to make up what was that? 2 hours left?
2.5.
2.5 hours. Okay, so you come back at 4:30. So you work 5:30, 6:30. You work to 7 o'clock. You still met the requirements.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, good. Okay.
It's anytime in there. There's nothing written that says that gliding you cannot split.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, thank you.
And two, let me make a distinction between the gliding schedule and the flexi tour with credit hours. So with this one, with gliding, your schedule is flexible, and you don't have to give advance notice, so to speak. But with flexi tour, that schedule is fixed and has to be, determined in advance. It has to be written out on the Form 10911, and management would then put it on Setter that way, or whatever system they use to report how you are working or what kind of schedule you're on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
So let's say I go into the office I usually go in on Thursdays and my work is from 8 to 4:30. If I get there at 8:30, do I need to notify my supervisor?
Yes.
Okay.
On gliding, right? You're
Yes,
talking about
gliding. Mhm.
Yes. So if you get
Okay.
there, what'd you say, 8:30?
8:30, huh?
On gliding, you need to let your manager know by 8:45. If you got there
Okay.
8:30, by 8:45, you need to let them know within 15 minutes of your start time.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay,
now say
thank you.
if you know today that on Thursday, tomorrow, you're gonna be there at 8:30, you can let
Mhm.
them know then I'll be in tomorrow at 8:30. And
Okay.
that meets the requirements.
What about if it's I'm at home and I'm not in my hours are my core hours are from 8 to 4:30 and I start at 8:30 again. Do I need to also let them know if I'm at home?
Okay, now what do you mean your core hours? Because core hours are 9:30 to 2:30.
Oh yeah, core hours 9:30. So on my form I stated that I was going to work from 8 to 4:30. And let's say on a particular day, like you said, I'm not feeling well, whatever, and I start at 8:30, and I'm at home teleworking. So do I need to call my supervisor and let her know I'm starting at 8:30, also within the 15 minutes?
Okay, so there's two parts to that. Yes, you need to let your manager know, no matter
Okay.
where. Okay, that's the first thing. And then the
Okay.
second thing is you were saying on your form, well, if you're referring to form 10911, remember you're only submitting that one time. So with
Okay.
gliding, when they enter that, you're not entering any time. There's no time
Oh.
on it. So when you look at form 10911, normally in a schedule that has fixed times, you
Mhm.
would be entering times. But with
Oh.
gliding, there are no times to enter.
Oh, when nobody told me anything about not entering the time on that form,
Well,
and
remember
I'll take a look.
I'm sorry.
No, and I'll take a look at it. But nobody, I'm still, like I said, I'm new, so I'm not, I'm
Mhm.
still, I'm learning. So go ahead
Okay.
and finish your sentence.
So remember, with gliding, you don't have a set schedule.
Okay.
So you said you're new. How new are you?
This is my second month.
Okay. So
Yes.
okay. So if you're able to glide,
Mm-hmm.
you basically come to work when you want to come to work between 6 a.m. and 9:30 a.m.
Okay. Okay.
So
It's
as long as now keeping in
Mhm.
mind that's as long as you don't fall within one of the AWS groupings. So we have 4 different groupings. That's a whole different topic. Okay, which I won't get into, but there are groupings that groupings of certain employees or certain types of employees in certain positions, I should say, that make them ineligible for certain types of alternate work schedules. So that is detailed in Article 23 exhibits in our national agreement. Okay, so you have to be sure that you are in a position that you can actually work these types of schedules.
Okay, and I'll find out. Thank you.
Thank you. And then you said you're new. I don't know how what's your position, if I can ask.
It's senior relationship. It's got so long. Um, I'm with Spec, senior relationship tax consultant.
Okay, do you guys have a probationary period?
You know what? That's another good question. Let me find out.
Mhm.
Nobody has mentioned anything, but I'll, I should find out about that.
Okay. Okay. I was trying to make sure there was nobody. Oh wait, hold on. There's some people. Okay, some people are waiting. Excuse me.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Do you have any other questions about this particular type of schedule?
And then the credit, can you explain the credit that you were mentioning at the beginning?
Okay, so credit hours. So credit hours are basically extra hours you can work that are not overtime hours. You don't get, if you do them on a holiday, they are not subject to holiday pay or any of those types of things. There's no extra money involved. They just give you time. And you have to request those in advance. Okay, they can be worked within the flexible time bands on the front end of your tour of duty or on the back end. And they can be earned, in 15-minute increments and used in the same 15-minute increment. So say if you're on a gliding schedule, let me give you an example. Lakeisha is on a gliding schedule. Okay, so say she's going to come to work on tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. But she decides that she wants to work 2 credit hours or 3 credit hours. Let's say 3. So she's going to start at 6 a.m. So she sends her manager an email and she says, hey, manager, I'm requesting approval for 3 credit hours to be worked on Thursday, May 25th from 6 a.m. to 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be working from my residence. Our manager responds and says approved. So Thursday, she gets up in the morning. She works 3 credit hours from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. And then she's essentially off from 9 to 9:30. And then she says, you know what, I'm gonna come to work at 9:30. I'm not gonna finish. I need a little break, in between there. So she begins her official tour of duty at 9:30. When she gets there at 9:30, she sends her manager an email and says, hey, I started work at 9:30. She could have even have done it in the credit hour request. She could have said, made the request and then said, I'll start working at 9:30 that 9:30 in the morning after I finish these credit hours.
Okay.
She could
Okay.
do
Thank you. And I am aware of those credit hours. I thought this was maybe a little bit different because of the gliding and everything, but okay. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, no problem. Okay, I'll turn it back over to Lakeisha.
All right. Thank you so much for that. I put in the chat, if you guys want a copy of the presenter's notes today, just drop your home email in the chat and we'll grab it before we disconnect and get those sent out to you, hopefully before the end of the day. Again, thank you all for joining. Thank you for your time and attention, and we will chat with you soon.